Hi, I'm Daniel, and I have never really been a big fan of superhero films. I say that while the Lego Batman movie is also in my top 10 best films. So more specifically mainstream and often live action superhero films. It is not even that they are bad, the few MCU films I have seen are pretty good, but not really my taste for how young and action yet they are. Big Hero 6 is close to mainstream superhero films, but it does a lot exceptionally that I think I can describe as underrated masterpiece, similar to A Bug's Life. It is not the same as underrated A Bug's Life, but it is better, so it equals out. Unlike most of my other nicest videos, I am not doing direct parts. I'm just saying everything I want to say in an order. Also, this video will have major spoilers, so watch the film before this video if you haven't already. So I will start off with the animation, which although it has been topped by Disney's later films, it still looks exceptional. The world is really well designed, both from combining the two places to form San Fran Tokyo, and how technological advances fit into the world. The writing and animation combined make the world greatly built. The cinematography here is amazing for how many shots do something unique. Like when Hiro is designing microbots and the camera stays the same while weeks pass. The comedy is another aspect of the film that works well. Mostly Baymax and Fred serve as comic relief characters. However, this film is barely a comedy, and since it's subjective, there isn't much to say about it. Now, the story may seem like a typical hero origin story, but that is a side element to the plot, which complements the rest of the film extremely well. This film is often compared to The Incredibles, and while some things like the villain and fight scenes are worse than Big Hero 6, most aspects of the film are so much better here than the mid-tier Pixar film. Someone might say it's not parodying superhero films like The Incredibles, which are both subversion and homage or stuff like that. This film isn't trying to be, and considering how every other recent animated superhero films are parodies of the genre, I like how this has very little of that. Complaining about it not being a subversion of the superhero genre is criticize the film for non-important things it doesn't do. Big Hero 6's priorities in other areas. It isn't even a mainstream superhero film because it is short and character-led. I am not done with the story, but I'll move to the characters before discussing why I consider this a masterpiece. Hiro is a fantastic protagonist for his arc in the movie and how he subverts what you would expect from him, which will be elaborated on later in the video. Baymax is a really good sidekick character whose relationship with Hiro doesn't feel forced like most main duos in films, who doesn't have a free will beyond the programming. The other four out of the six, Wasabi, Go-Go, Honey Lemon and Fred, all have their own unique personality and aren't interchangeable, which is rare for characters that only ever appear in a group. In the series, they get individual screen time, which is an improvement. Especially to Fred, who gets a lot of hate which I strongly disagree with. He is great. At one point, Fred was my favourite Disney character, and he still is one of the franchise's best parts. Craig and Callahan are the two more antagonistic characters that are paralleled. The twist is very flawed, and the way the film hard pushes Craig as a red herring is very on the nose, especially on rewatches. Callahan going to a murder without having any regrets about it is a bit of a jump for his character. Like that was his mistake line, and it's easy to acknowledge that it wasn't such a mistake in one of the few appearances in the series. However, these characters work in concert with the themes, which make the film so amazing. Hiro is dealing with some sort of depression through grief, and that is the main crux of the movie, hidden at first glance by a fun superhero origin story. Baymax isn't just programmed physical pain, he was made as a form of helping people in all different ways. The opening scenes does an extraordinary job at establishing the bond of the two that leads up to a death way better than Up. It may seem I don't like Up's opening, but it's a good moment that is really overrated for being somewhat emotional. While the choice to make it have no dialogue makes it more different, multiple things use that style better like a lot of the best Pixar shorts. Back to Big Hero 6. Hiro keeps telling Baymax and also himself that defeating the masked villain will help him mentally. But the scene that highlights that this isn't really the case is the bit that was the teaser poster. Right after a flying scene that feels like a from a How to Train Dragon film in a good way, Baymax tells Hiro, I can activate if you say you are satisfied with your care. In context, it doesn't make much sense because Hiro upgraded him to fight, which hasn't happened yet, and there is no way for him to get down without Baymax. However, this comes from Tadashi Chip being able to sense improvement from Hiro and thinking the job is done. Most robots in films have more personality than what was programmed, and while there isn't always a negative depending on the type of story, but I like how this didn't go for that route of storytelling. It seemed Hero's state was improving, but then he finds out the masked man is Kaya-Han, which causes him to turn Baymax into a Kaya. Or more accurately, an attempted Kaya. Having the main character try and kill the villain is something you wouldn't expect from Disney, but it fits what was set up. This scene is very chilling for multiple aspects like the visuals, the lighting and cinematography, where if you watch the scene out of context, it looks like Baymax and Hero are the villains. This is one villainous scene. Consider this my half-entry that collaboration. Also, seeing the usual helpful robot use his curvingness by trying to assassinate Kaya-Han and stop everyone who gets in his way makes this scene scary. I remember scaring me when I first saw it and it probably traumatized a lot of kids. In a couple of years, this will be a staple in them childhood trauma videos. Scene early in the movie where Hiro is putting Baymax in his first terrible suit, and he decides to keep the health chip in, makes when he actually does take it out an extraordinary scene. If it weren't for that making other four have to stop Baymax, the villain wouldn't have escaped, and it's not their fault, it's Hiro's. Next in the film, Baymax starts saying Tadashi is here, because his creation lives on. The teaser ruined these flashbacks of Tadashi building Baymax. It's treated like a joke and not an emotional scene that doesn't even need music in my opinion. Then both the character and audience find out that Kaya-Han wants revenge for his daughter, and that makes Hiro realize he is a person too. It doesn't automatically redeem him, but before Hiro saw him as completely evil, so he wanted revenge for Tadashi. But Tadashi only died because he got caught up in an act of revenge. The cycle of revenge could just continue. And after a final fight, it's revealed Kaya-Han's daughter is still alive in the portal, which makes Hiro and Baymax go in. And Baymax has to end up sacrificing himself to save the two humans. Hiro doesn't want this, he already lost his parents at a young age, and Tadashi, which Baymax is a memory of and his accomplishment. But Baymax brought the chip, and making the body is meant to be the easy part in this universe. I don't know when it would took it out in the movie, but I don't care about it not making sense. Before anyone says it, this is not unnecessary fake out death. In context of the movie, it makes sense in things for Baymax to still live. Also, he is a robot, so different rules apply. If the movie did bad fake out deaths, in the final fight, Tadashi would come back with no explanation of how he isn't dead. It may be a typical superhero story, but there's so much more than that. I can admit there's problems in Big Hero 6, like the villain isn't that good. When it comes together, I will classify it as Walt Disney's best. Even though my opinion could change if I rewatch more of their films, my series ranking Disney eras isn't over. The Silver Age video is coming late this month. In conclusion, Big Hero 6 is an amazing movie that is overlooked in the revival, which is honestly understandable with how discussed most revival films are. I mentioned this in the video earlier, but there is a series of the movie, which while not as good, is great for the characters and arcs throughout seasons or half seasons. I have a problem with one aspect of it, which I can't go into now, might do a video on a later date, but it is still a show I'll recommend to watch if you like this movie. This isn't the nicest video with similar structure to my Books Life video, but this is definitely intentional. While it's more debatable with the Bug's Life, I discussed the theme of the film in depth, which I might do more, but won't do it if it's already been talked about a lot. The end.